this bike has the Explorer mode, which basically means you can just go, let's say, okay, we go into the woods. Gary had zero experience off-road, but no, it's okay. This traction control has a little bit of struggles with the wheeling. Ooh, that's cool. A Unimog. I should do a review on that. But I'm doing one on the Norden, my Norden. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. In this video I will do a little review about my bike, the Norden 901. I have driven now around 2,000 kilometers on it. So yeah, I will tell a little bit of what my findings are, positive, cons, and first things first. Let's get on and listen to this Akrapovič. That means ready to go. The bike itself, the specifications I will put in the description for everybody to see, and the stock equipment is quite okay, I would say. I have it quite stock. I just did a few modifications so far from the dealer, which one of which, as you can see directly, is the Explorer mode enabled, so you can basically put everything yourself in the settings in one overview. And so I like this interface the best as well. You can adjust your throttle response, your traction control on and off-road, ABS, and also you can see directly here the heated grip function that I have from factory in the interface. Cost wise, I don't think there's a difference between this and between an extra little instrument on your handlebar, but I definitely prefer to have the things all clean here.
That's what she said.
So yeah, that's what I have in the instrumentarium, so you can see directly. Then of course what you can see as well is the windscreen spoiler. When I test drove the bicycle, I noticed that there's quite a lot of wind when you go on the highway. It's not like super annoying, but I thought it would be nice to have the spoiler. I'm quite a tall guy, so for me, I'm like 1 meter 86 centimeters, so I'm quite a tall guy. I don't know how much that is in feet and inches. I think 6 feet 1 or 2, something like this. And I noticed during the test drive that a lot of wind came straight in my face when I was on the highway, and it definitely helps with less wind getting straight in your face. But the downside of it's kind of turbulent now, so you feel your head going a bit wobbly sometimes when you go higher. So I think my advice would be, if you don't live in Germany and you don't go often between 120 or 130 kilometers an hour, I would just leave it stock. I'm definitely gonna search for a different windscreen. I saw a few online, not much available out there, so if anybody has any suggestion, then please let me know. So yeah, and last option I took from factory or from dealer, to say like this, is the Akrapovič exhaust, which in my belief is a huge upgrade on the bike. The stock exhaust, I noticed this also on a test drive, is a little bit quiet, and that for a 900cc bike, I think it deserves a little better sound than what it comes from factory with all the emissions and sound regulations. So yeah, I think that's only a good point. The Quickshifter though, you just saw it now. Sometimes it says I'm not shifting up, and then it just goes into, let's say, the limiter, or it just doesn't shift up, and then you feel it going out of gear but not going into gear. I don't know if this is, let's say, my ability or disability to do so. I don't think so, because I give enough pressure to shift up. The throttle is obviously open, and with downshifting you have to close it to use the Quickshifter, but I don't know. If anybody has any ideas here, then please let me know. But I think this is something I or the bike has to get used to. There's different comments about this as well. Yeah, so for the rest, my impressions are good. I didn't expect actually this bike to handle so good on road. I come from a, let's say, race bike or nice race bike and or road bike experience, and not so much in adventure bike. Better said, this is my first adventure bike ever and my first kilometers on an adventure bike ever. Right now I think 2,000 kilometers, 1,800, something like this. And I must say I'm very surprised by the agility and the speed that it has, the power that it still has. It's a little bit more shifting than when you have a road bike or a race bike. You have longer gears there. You can go in third gear 50 kilometers an hour, but also 190 kilometers an hour, and this is something of course that the adventure bike doesn't have. But it's not something that's really annoying, it's just something you have to get used to. So I like the position on the bike as well. Normally when you're on a road bike or a race bike, after a day or of riding, you just come home with a neck hernia and your wrists hurt and your back hurts, and with this bike you don't have this. So that's what I really like. You can go to the mountain pass, you can go over the mountain pass, you can go back home with the mountain pass, and just... So yeah, that's something I really like. And then with this bike also, it gives you trust on and off road. I hear a lot of complaints about the tires, that they're not good either way, or people maybe with more experience off-road or on-road than me. But I must say I'm quite okay with these, because they say, hey guy, if you go into the forest, it's totally fine by me, we just go. Yeah, and it gives you the, let's say, trust. This bike, although I have like zero experience, it still gives you the trust that you can do this without any problems. So yeah, that's something I like. Something I'm not used to. It's a bit slippery because it was raining yesterday, so the grass here is a little bit slippery, but on and all, it gives you the feeling like you can do this, and as you can see, I apparently can. I have the settings, so the traction control settings on 9, which is the most assist to select this. Since I have zero experience, I think I trust the bike more than my own ability when it comes to deciding how much drift is allowed. So yeah, but overall it's really nice to handle. And again, it's not scary. I expected this to be way more scary. I had zero experience off-road, but no, it's okay. This is gravel road, of course, but it's not scary at all. So for the rest, let's say pros and cons that I have about this bike. So I like the sitting position, obviously. The things I don't really like was the windscreen. So what I also noticed is that there's a lot of heat coming from the exhaust or the catalyst of the exhaust. Something I noticed, something that's annoying on warm days like this, it's 25 degrees and you notice that it's there all the time. Unless you're on the highway, then that's okay. But if you're not on the highway, then you just feel the heat coming from there. I don't know. I also read somewhere that this is bad for the coil of the rear suspension. So there's some kind of heat plate or heat protection plate existing for this. That's something I will look into as well, to put it on there. So yeah, I will definitely put that heat plate as well there. The only thing I it's not a dislike, but you have to get used to it, is to change the interface, change the settings. You have to go a lot of ways through this, and you can't pre-program what you want. Yes, you can pre-program the top and bottom buttons for this, but that's about it. And then you have 1 or 2 settings, but you can do a lot of different riding modes. Yes, you can do here the level of traction control, but it would be nice if we just have 1 button off-road, or if you have a setting here, tap this twice, off-road, something like this. That would be nice. So there's definitely no lack of power. I really like that, and I like really the throttle mode rally. It's super snappy, it's super aggressive, to say like this, but you can really feel every power of the bike, which is good to do total adjustment to it. So something I don't like is the mirrors on this bike. Why? Because they vibrate on high speed. So when they vibrate, you can't really see that right now because I'm only driving 40 kilometers an hour. But when you're doing 120, 130, 140 kilometers an hour, they get more and more vibrate. And when you live in Germany like me, it's pretty hard to estimate how far the car is driving behind you. I mean, one car drives 160, other car drives 120, the next car is driving 260. So that gives it gives me a hard time on the highway to estimate what time I have to overtake and so on. Nice Bentley, by the way. So I will definitely exchange the mirrors to a different one. I read something about these double take or ram mount mirrors, so I'm gonna try those. For the rest, I ordered a different skid plate for the bike, different crash mounts, because basically I have none at the moment. And I read that the skid plate is breaking pretty easily when you go off-road, so it's not protecting very well. So I decided to exchange this with a heavy duty one. Same for the grip protectors. These are plastic, so I ordered the ones that are with aluminium. That gives a little bit more protection, and I don't break my hands when I hit some tree or something. You never know. So yeah, this bike has the Explorer mode, which basically means you can just go, let's say, okay, we go into the woods, and you go into the woods. So yeah, and as I said, it gives you just the trust that you can do this, and that's new to me because I've never been off-road. I hope there's no hunter to shoot me, because I don't think it's allowed to be here with the bike. It's a bit muddy.
Enemy spotted.
But yeah, it's pretty easy. So even someone like me can do this. And it's a pretty strange experience to feel the rear end of a bike going sideways. With a car, it's okay. But with a bike, it's way different, especially in these circumstances. On and off hill, off road. But again, it's giving you the trust you can do this, so that's only good. So at least the name Explorer mode is okay. So as I said a little bit earlier, I will definitely advise to take the Akrapovič exhaust, or at least exchange the stock exhaust. What am I saying? Because I think you can go from moped to motorcycle in one screw. In case of the Akrapovič exhaust, you have to drill a little hole underneath the muffler, and there you take out the debecular. You have to take the bolt out that's there. You have to be a little bit careful with your socket and with your bar to take it loose, because if you screw this up, you just damage the bolt and you can't take out the bolt anymore. So because the bolt is attached with one weld. So as I said, I like the bike a lot. I will show a little acceleration now of the bike. I have it in rally mode, which is more snappy, as I said, and the traction control is on, so I don't know how to wheelie, but that sounds good. So even the traction control has a little bit of struggles with the wheeling. First marker. So if you like this video, then please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more of content like this, then please subscribe to the channel down below. I'm gonna put videos of modifications and other updates.